You know, for as long as we've been around, we've been on this quest to figure out what life is all about. But lately, our ambition has just exploded. We've gone from simply naming the flowers in a garden to trying to re-engineer our own bodies to live forever. This is the story of that incredible shift, from trying to classify life to trying to conquer it. So great is the love for flowers. That was the personal motto of a man who, almost 300 years ago, took that simple love and used it to totally change how we see the living world. And our story? Well, it starts with him. So, let's meet Carl Linnaeus. He was born in a tiny village in Sweden way back in 1707. And his journey, it didn't kick off in some fancy lab or a big university. Nope, it started in a garden, all fueled by this incredible curiosity. Carl was the son of a poor minister, so he was supposed to be studying theology, but his real passion was in the dirt. I mean, while other kids were out playing, he was building Carl's garden, collecting not just flowers, but anything he could find, even wild bees and wasps. He was a born naturalist. He just had this drive to understand everything around him. But back then, this obsession wasn't seen as a gift. Not at all. In fact, his headmaster actually wrote that young Carl was completely unfit for the church. The best he could hope for, they figured, was to be a tailor or maybe a shoemaker. They had no idea they were looking at a genius. So how does this kid, the one his teachers basically wrote off, become known as the Prince of Botanists? Well, he did it by looking at the beautiful, wild chaos of nature and giving it a system, giving it some order. And let me tell you, his path was not easy. At university in 1728, he was so poor he was literally patching his shoes with paper to keep from freezing. But that passion just kept pushing him. By 1732, he's on this incredible expedition through the wilds of Lapland. A few years after that, boom, he publishes his masterpiece. And by 1741, he's back at the same university where he nearly starved, only now he's a celebrated professor. And this is what made him a legend. Systema Naturae. It was a totally revolutionary idea. He suggested organizing all living things based on their reproductive parts. But even more important, he created what we call binomial nomenclature, that simple, brilliant two-part naming system, like Homo sapiens, that every biologist on the planet still uses. He didn't just organize nature, he gave us the very language to talk about it. His work was also really personal. On that trip through Lapland, he found this small, humble little flower growing in the moss, one that most people would just walk right by. He named it Linnea borealis.